You know, one of the most exciting things for players in Dungeons& and Dragons is probably getting a new magic item. It's the thrill of unlocking something powerful, mysterious, and unique for your own character. Maybe it's a flaming sword, a wand that shoots lightning, or a cloak that makes you invisible. But not every item is what it seems. Some of them are traps. They promise great power, but that power comes with a cost. These are cursed items. And cursed items aren't just about punishing your player. When you use them right, you can shape the entire story worth of it, create moral dilemmas, and force your character to ask, is this worth it? Today, let's dive into how cursed items work, why they're so much fun to use, and how you can design them to change your campaign forever. And if you're new here, ahoy! I'm the D&D Hunter. I am not a mind flayer in disguise with a fake mustache. This mustache happens to be very much real. I'm just a human man. And I make videos on Dungeons & Dragons pretty much every single week here. I'm a brand new D&D channel that's new to the community, but I always have a lot of ideas on mine, so come join me as we talk all about curses within items. Now, the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide actually has a small section on cursed items. It's in the pages right before they dive into the magical items, and it reads as follows. Curse items. A magic item's description specifies whether it bears a curse. Most methods of identifying items include the Identify spell. Fail to retrieve such a curse, though. Attunement to a curse item can't be ended voluntarily unless the curse is broken first, such as with the Remove Curse spell. And that's kind of it. That's all the D&D handbook says here, but there is some items that actually specifically say that it's a curse item, but not a lot of them. Curse items seem to be very much a minor thing that happens in Dungeons & Dragons, and not a major thing, and I do agree with that. Don't make everything cursed in your game, but when it does come to making D&D curse items, let's make them special here. Now, before we go further, let's address the Loxodon in the room. The Remove Curse spell does pretty much exactly what it says in the title there. It removes the curse. But maybe we can do a little bit of a twist on this spell here. Maybe when it removes the curse, it also removes the benefit of whatever the cursed item you're using here. For me, cursed items should be sort of like making a deal with the devil just in the form of an item. There should be a high benefit, but also a very high risk as well. So if you do end up finding that Remove Curse spell, or if you have a cleric or a paladin in the party that has it, that could save you from that curse, but it also means the item doesn't really have much of a value anymore. Or the Remove Curse spell could get rid of the entity inside of this curse item and have it cause havoc out of the item. Say, for example, you have a cursed battle axe, that inside of this battle axe, there's some barbaric evil entity. When you cast Remove Curse on it, that barbaric entity gets out of the axe and he starts causing havoc in the real world, or the material plane, or the Feywild, or the Shadowfell, or wherever you are in your campaign. So yes, Remove Curse does fix the curse from the item and gets rid of it, but it could have its own sort of consequences, and you could be getting rid of the benefits as well. Sometimes, maybe you don't want to use Remove Curse. To understand cursed items, you have to first look at how they differ from normal magic items. A typical magic item is a reward. It's there to make your players feel stronger. A +1 sword, a bag of holding, boots that let you jump higher. They're straightforward, they're reliable, and almost always a good thing. But a curse item, that's a different beast. A curse item dangles the power in front of the players, but it demands something in return. Could be their health, could be their sanity, could even be their soul or the stabilization of the party itself. I think the most famous example of a curse item is the One Ring from Lord of the Rings. On paper, it's incredible. Makes you invisible, prolongs your life, but the more you use it, the more it corrupts you. It attracts the attention of dark power. The benefit is undeniable, but the cost might destroy you, which is why you must destroy it, Frodo Baggins. That's the heart of a cursed item. It's the deal with the devil just dressed up like a ring or a sword, or maybe the devil's dressed as like a crown, or you get the idea. Now when you design a cursed item for your table, the balance between the power and the cost is everything. If the curse is too harsh, the players will throw that away immediately. They're not going to risk that. But if the curse is too soft, it just feels like another magic item with extra flavor. There are two ways to deliver this balance. One, you can make the curse known from the start. Or two, you can hide it until later. If the player knows the item is cursed, it creates this delicious tension that the table has. Imagine finding a sword that lets you roll a critical hit on both a 19 and 20, like some fighters have. That's incredible, right? But every time you roll a natural 1, the blade drains away your own life force. Do you use that? Do you risk hurting yourself? Or do you pass it up and watch someone else enjoy this power? On the other hand, sometimes it's better to keep the curse hidden. Let the players believe they stumbled across something legendary. Maybe they find a quiver of endless arrows. That sounds amazing for something like a ranger or a druid that's constantly staying in the back firing these arrows. But only after a few weeks they realize that every arrow fired nudges the personality a little closer to chaos. The curse reveals itself slowly, and by then, the player might already be hooked. Both approaches work, and both can be devastating in the best way possible. Not all curses can feel the same either. A curse item's theme can make it feel unique to your world, and I do recommend making all your curse items, or items in general, have a little bit of a theme. Take the elves, for example. Their curse items might be subtle and tragic. Imagine a beautiful harp carved in silverwood, but every time you play it, the crowd is enchanted, charmed into the silence and wonder, but the cost is personal. Each song shortens the blade's lifespan, note by note, until their story ends too soon. Now compare that to a demonic curse. These are loud, brutal, and cruel. Picture a whip of living flame. It scorches enemies with every strike, but it also burns the wielder, branding them with scars that never heal. The longer they use it, the more their body becomes a canvas of fire and cruelty. Undead curses are different again. Imagine a bone shield that can half incoming damage. Sounds like a tank's dream. This is exactly what a paladin wants, but every time it blocks a blow, it leaches a little into the wielder's vitality, leaving their skin colder, the veins darker, until they start to look more like the undead that forged it, the exact undead that this paladin is trying to destroy. And then there's the divine curses, punishment wrapped in holy light. A radiant crown, for example, that commands instant respect from the crown and grants the charisma beyond compare. But every time the wearer tells a lie, it starts to sear their body with pain, wrecking them. Eventually, the crown burns them from within. These themes give curse items personality. It stops being just like an item with personality and starts becoming an artifact with history, purpose, and weight. Some curse items just sit quietly back, draining your strength and twisting your fates, but other curse items, they might talk back. Non-sentient curse items are simple, like a pair of boots that double your speed but prevent you from ever getting a full night's rest. A cloak that lets you vanish into the shadows, like Harry Potter, but slowly makes you more vulnerable to radiant damage, like Harry Potter, maybe. I can't remember. These are straightforward. They are curses that built into the mechanics. Then there are sentient curse items.
But he was destroyed. Sauron was destroyed.
And those are the ones that stick with the players forever. Imagine a black dagger that whispers to its wielder at night. It promises power, but only if they spill innocent blood once a week. Or a book that writes new spells on its page, but in exchange, it erases the memory from the reader's mind, something that they don't realize it's doing until they come across an NPC that claims they know them and proves that they know them, but this player, they have no idea who this person is.
I have no memory of this place.
Sentient curse items aren't just tools, they're characters. They will argue, they will tempt, and they will beg. They'll sometimes even lie. Because that moment that your player starts negotiating with their own sword, that means you've got them hooked. The way you introduce a curse item can make it or it can break it. Sometimes you want to foreshadow it through old legends, ominous warnings, and the broken remains of past adventurers. Other times you drop it on the player with no warning at all. Both methods can work, and the key is that curse items shouldn't feel cheap. They shouldn't exist to punish the party either. They should just exist to create a story. A curse item is an opportunity for roleplay, it's an opportunity for drama and tough decisions. Do you keep the sword that whispers in your dreams, or do you risk using the shield that drains your life? Do you destroy the harp before it kills another bard, or do you keep it for yourself? It's those questions and those moments of debate at the table that make the curse items truly shine and become one with the story. And of course, every curse begs the question, can you break it? Some can. Obviously, there's a remove curse spell that the Dungeons Master Guide so clearly points out, but there's also the Greater Restoration spell that can be enough itself. Others might require an entire quest, though. Perhaps the party has to throw in the item into the Holy Forge, or carry it back to the temple of the god who created it. And sometimes, destroying the item can come at a cost of its own. I would even write in that right when you're about to destroy this, you gotta roll a charisma save or something to see if you're able to resist it or not, as it's tempting you to let this item live. Will you throw it into the fire? Will you turn around and say,
No.
and sometimes destroying that item can come at a cost on its own. Shattering the cursed sword might release the demon bound inside. This creates new branches in the story. Do you destroy it, or do you risk unleashing something worse? Do you keep it because the power is too valuable, or do you search for a way to purify it, turning a curse into a blessing? That is the path that the player chooses, and it becomes their own adventure. The real truth about cursed items is that they aren't punishments, they're opportunities. They're more powerful than normal items, but the price is always steep. They can be openly cursed, or they can hide their true nature until it's too late. They can be subtle, they can be tragic, they can be loud, or they can be cruel. They can whisper in the night, or they can simply twist a fate silently in the shadows. And every cursed item comes with the question: do we cure it? Do we destroy it? Or do we embrace it? Used the right way, curse items are more than loot. They're story engines. They make your world feel dangerous, they make your players think twice, and they create moments that your table just won't forget. So let me ask you, what's the most memorable curse item that you've wanted to see in your game? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more Dungeon Master tips, homebrew ideas, and just fun D&D stories, don't forget to like and subscribe here. Just a reminder, I'm a new D&D YouTuber. I guess I'm not a YouTuber yet, but I'm new to the D&D YouTube community, and I just keep on growing. I have videos on gods, ID cards, magic items in general that you can make in real life. I did one last week on job boards and how they can create an infinite amount of side quests and so on and so forth. I'd love for you guys to check it out here. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, may your loot be more powerful, but never safe.